We're gonna be working half guard passing. I wanna go over one of my favorite options, which is a smash pass. So if I have Eric, something I really wanna think about, bottom player, right? We've talked about this too. You wanna keep like a really strong knee shield, good integrity through your frames with your legs. Anytime I see this knee open, I'm coming in to get to top half smash, right? So that's like a gift your partner can give you. So if you're kind of pushing down and they open up, I'm just coming in and closing the space, okay? That should just be like a freebie, a thing to do. Just really, try and practice that. When you see that awareness, you want to come right in. So as we're going to talk about this smash pass, if he has his knee shield in, right, there's only a few ways you can pass half guard. I can go over, which is going to be like your cartwheel passes. I can go through, which is going to be your smash passes, or I can go around, which is going to be more your like open guard passing, like your Toriando passes, things like that. So we're going to go on this smash. I'm not going to keep my body like parallel to him. See how far away I am? I need to be cautious of this leg because a lot of times people want to try and swim underneath, right, to off balance me and start getting leg entanglements. But I want to really make sure I'm covering his bottom knee, okay? And that my hips are facing his hips, so I'm at a 45-degree angle. I don't need to be super deep to the hip yet. That's for another option we're going to go over after. But as I'm here, I need my hips facing towards him. They can't be away for this to move, for this to work. So as I'm here, I'm going to keep my hand on his knee as a weighted blanket. I'm not just like pushing down with it, but I'm just checking it. When I'm ready, I'm going to get up on my knees and I'm going to thrust my hips forward. So my hips are pressing into his shin. Okay, this is compressing his legs. I'm pushing him kind of his legs into his hip. I'm on my toes now and I have to do a few things at once. I'm going to hip tilt. I'm going to post my left foot and I need to get the underhook. I cannot let him get the underhook here. So I'm going to tilt. I continue pushing this down, go for the underhook and drop. So all my weight is pinning his leg down. I don't want to end up here on his hip. If I'm on his hip, he can open up his knee and fling me. So it's really important that my ribs and side body are falling kind of dead center of his leg. I can keep my hand on the knee, but here Eric's pretty pinned. I've got the underhook. I'm going to get a grip on the shoulder. If I was in the gi, I can grab the lapel. And then I'm using my head. I'm also on my back toes. So from here, I'm going to drive up. I'm putting even more pressure on him. Now, I might be able, because he doesn't really have like much of a bottom hook in, I could just slide down, baseball slide down off the knee, do my rewind and come into side control, okay? But a lot of times people might have a bottom hook in. So we're here, right, kind of pressuring in. I'll square up a bit, hand on the knee. I come forward. I'm putting pressure into his shin and his knee shield. I'm gonna tilt and drop. If I feel like his elbow is in a little bit and in danger of getting the underhook, I'm gonna pull the wrist out or pull the arm out by the wrist. Then I come in, bring my head in, and I drive. He's got more of a bottom hook here. That's fine. What we're gonna do is leg pummel, okay? So what I do is lift my foot. I wanna pivot on my knee. So I'm gonna rotate. If I can get over his foot, that's ideal. See how I bring my foot over his? I get to my toes, then I straighten my leg, and that pops the hook off because my knee is off the ground now. And then I can slide through. If I can't get over his foot, that's okay. I'm still gonna pivot and pummel my foot to get as close to his foot as possible. See how I had movement? I was all the way over here with my foot, but now I'm gonna just pummel it and get closer to his leg. I can lift my knee and I still can clear it, right? So I don't have to circle over the foot necessarily. You can keep trying to do that a few times to pummel and then eventually you'll pass through. I slide down. I don't set my hips or butt on the mat. I'm gonna drive his hips back so I can deal pressure. And here we are, side control. Okay, so one more time. Boom, boom, we're here. I'm gonna come forward. I'm gonna tilt. If I feel like he gets the underhook, I cannot move forward. I need to post at his ear, circle, leading with my elbow, and re-pummel. I do not go forward. If he has the underhook and I continue going forward, boom, he's got my back. Okay, so you have to stop. You can't continue to go. He's got the underhook, he has the power. Okay, so we're here, boom, tilt, drive, pummel, pop, slide, rewind, nice high, chest to chest side control. Okay, any questions? Let's give it a shot. 1, 2, 3. A couple of things I'm not doing. Right, so we're here, boom, pressuring forward. I'm not just coming here, right? You see how like my butt's back, but like there's so much space here. He can use his knee shield, he can use his frame. We're back in the same spot, right? So I'm pressuring forward. I want his shin to stay like mid-level to me. If it's up here, this isn't gonna work, right? But boom, I'm coming in for top half smash then, right? So pressuring forward, I tilt, get the underhook, right? And look, I can even slide myself right to the center. Here I feel good, right? Drive with the head. Now I do an extra drive. He's pinned down. Okay, from here, I'm not going like this. Okay, I'm just pummeling. See how I'm just rotating my foot? My knee stays to the mat. Then I straighten and I slide. So I have this beautiful ramp to slide down. I don't want to then do this. He's going to bring his knee back in, or he's going to, do like a ghost escape. I cannot turn my hips over until I have passed his legs, right? Boom, tilt, drive, boom. I'll come in for the over wrap, slide. Now I'll push him back, and then I turn over because the legs are out of the way. I don't want to go to all that work and then he reguards, right? So you do not have to rush turning your hips over. Stay in that position where you're sliding like this until you're past the legs, they're behind you. Then I can either rewind or I can come up to a nice high chest on chest or north-south position. We got to get away from the legs, okay? Okay, let's give that a try a little bit more. 1, 2, 3. I'm still seeing a lot of like square hips, okay? But you're still gonna practice this because we're gonna talk about a back step option. But where it really gets your partner, where they're like, oh God, this pressure, it sucks, right? Like when I come forward, right? So I'm getting to my knees, pressuring in, and then the tilt and the drop is what sucks because that's pinning their knees together. That's not the same. Like once people are getting here, they're kind of trying to like do this or like do this. It's not the same. I feel like he has so much power to extend back. Like here, I feel like Eric doesn't have as much power. He feels way more pinned, okay? And I'm following through with the pummel and then sliding all the way through. So let's say we're here, and what happens is when I first kind of like land in this position, I'm usually met maybe by a frame. Or let's say he has a really strong bottom hook, and I'm like, man, I can't pummel through that, right? So I'm gonna back step. Now, I'm calling this a back step. This is not an overly dramatic, big, like, bam, back step. If it is, I'm gonna get tossed, okay? It's more so like I'm bringing my leg behind his, okay? So I'm here. What I am gonna do now, instead of my ribs on the side or the center of his thigh, I'm going to shift up a little bit. So I'm shifting up towards his hip slightly. I keep my hand on his knee, and now I'm just gonna bring my foot behind. Okay, so I'm not really opening up my hips. I'm just placing my foot behind his bottom hook. Now from here, what I'm gonna do is take this hand and I'm gonna go right in between his leg. The top leg, the thigh, I'm going like right behind the knee pit. If there's a big space, you could just kind of punch through, but I'm just wedging my hand in. Now from here, my bottom leg is gonna retract out and I'm gonna go belly down. And I can end up in a nice cradle or I can end up to side control. The reason I've discovered kind of this little handle is because if I don't do that, I'm here, he's meeting me with the frame, right? I go back and then I'm trying to come in. He's still got that hook. He can fling me, especially if I back step too much, yep. He can use it to kind of square up and get back to his butt and to a guard. So I need to address that and get that handle. So I come in, boom, he's here. So I slide up, back step, bring my hand in between, and then I pull my bottom leg through and go belly down. And now I can start taking his back, get to side control, try to get to mount, whatever I want, okay? One more time. Same thing, so we're still practicing this whole concept. Coming forward, tilt, drop, yep, the frame's here. I can't advance. I can't pummel through. I push down, slide up, foot, handle. I punch it through as I retract my bottom leg. You can close up the cradle if you can, or just pull your arm and then get to like a nice side control. Okay? Any questions on that? Let's give it a shot. 1, 2, 3. Just a reminder, I want to kind of tilt more towards the hip again, just so I'm not sliding down too much. So we're here, right? Boom, I tilt. I'm pushing on the knee before I back step. I'm not trying to get in right away, making that wedge. I'm using the knee as the post. So I can be holding onto the shoulder or on my hand here, depending if he's framing, right? So here I do want to try and slide. It's like the slightest move, but I feel like it gives me a little bit more balance and it brings my knee up slightly. Then I can back step. I just feel more controlled here. Now I'm going to just shove my hand in between. Boom. That's the nicest term to use, is just shove the hand in. I don't want to really go, I want to try and include my thumb and not go like this, because I don't know, that makes me feel vulnerable with my thumb. Like something could go wrong or it could get shifted. So I'm trying to use the whole hand, and then eventually I can bring the hand through and punch or connect an S grip. So now we're going to talk about the operation game. Does everyone know the operation game? Like, would do that again? What was that? Yeah, the zzz, right? So I'm trying to think about this as I can't go through the knee shield, I'm going to go around, okay? It's also better known as a reverse scarf position is where I'm trying to get to. I like considering it the operation game because I'm really trying not to hit his knee. I really need to go around it. So what I'm trying to do, maybe I'm trying to smash through and I can't. I need to bring my outside knee into his hip. That's the goal. And I need to swim around and bring my elbow to his other hip, okay? I don't want to try and reach towards his shoulder because his arm's going to get on the inside, and I'm going to show you how to deal with that if that happens. But I really need to be confident in how I'm going to fall. My back is basically going to face him, and I need to do a little swirl, okay? So we're here, kind of moving, right? Maybe I can't smash. When I'm ready, I'm going to come up, and I'm going to bring my knee in, the knee into the hip, and then I fall. My elbow is towards his outside hip, okay? He's going to be holding onto my legs, right? Yep, he can be up super high. That's what he's going to try and do. So from here, I don't want to stay down here because he has power with his frames to push me. So, and I need to be mindful of my head also, like the posture. I don't want to posture up too much, yep, because he can knock me and come around with his arm. So head is low. I'm going to use my hand to push against his knee, and I slide my elbow and my butt back. I want to get into his armpits. This is going to create this with his arms above his head. Once I feel my ribs on his chin, I'm in the perfect spot. Okay? From here, I could literally just use my bottom foot to peel and back step that leg out, right? Once my knee line is clear by me pushing, and I've shifted back so much that it's hard for him to stay above my knee, I can just rotate and get to 3/4 mount too. Now from this position, don't be so quick to lift up your arm. I'm keeping my elbow on the mat and I'm gonna trace around his arm. I don't wanna go above his elbow. I need to stay like on his tricep. I'm gonna circle and then come in and pick up his head. Okay, this is really uncomfortable. I can come in, if you can swing it, get a rear naked grip. I'm gonna grab my bicep. I don't know, Eric's head is kind of big with his arm too. Here we go. And then I grab on top. I can puff my chest and squeeze and try and go for the tap. Okay, that's gonna put a lot of pressure on someone's shoulder, or I can just use the hold to then be able to pass and get to mount, okay? So we're here, right? I can't smash through. I don't wanna like telegraph what I'm doing. So all of these things you're gonna try and combine together, right? So I'm here, boom, boom. When I'm ready, I bring my knee in and I swirl and fall. You've gotta be confident. My head's low, I push back right away. Okay, then I can use the peeler, take my leg out, or get to 3/4 mount. Now let's say I fell and my elbow didn't clear to his hip. His arm was on the inside. That's fine. What I don't want to do is bring this elbow or arm above his shoulder. If it's above his shoulder, he's got a deep underhook and he can bridge me. Okay, so what I want to do is clamp. I'm clamping at his tricep. From here, I can start trying to go for some arm attacks, right? I can still push back. I can peel. Then I can get into my side control and go for attacks. I can even like hold like a one-arm Kimura grip, and then I can use my other hand to help pass and start going for underhooks. So the big key is, if sometimes you fall, it might not be perfect. I want to really make sure that I'm pinching at the tricep. My arm's not all the way above his shoulder. That's going to just give him that deep underhook. Okay? Do we need to see it again? Okay. So we're here, right? Boom, boom, boom. I'm trying to still keep this 45-degree angle, like our hips are facing each other. Okay, when I'm ready, I'm going to come up on my knees, and then I'm going to rotate and fall. It's like a swirl, okay? I avoided the knee shield so I didn't get the zzz for the operation, right? I won. We're here. Push all the way back. I feel my ribs on his chin. Can back step like that, use the peeler, or bring my knee and come in. Elbow stays on the mat. Come around, pick up the head. Then I can get to mount. This really sucks. You might not tap everybody with this, but this is a really uncomfortable position. And you have the arm isolated. You could start, coming in, grabbing the wrist, doing other things, setting up arm triangles. But that's kind of like a Bravo formation here. If you can get the rear naked grip, puff the chest, squeeze, you could maybe get the tap. Okay, if not, let that go. Come in for arm triangles. If perhaps you can start setting up triple attack, go for wrist locks, Americanos, whatever you want. Okay? Any other questions? Let's give it a shot. 1, 2, 3.